Seeing ghosts.
That wasn't just a bad moment. It was the moment everything collapsed. Under the bright lights of Monday Night Football on national television, Sam Darnold went from a promising young quarterback to the league's biggest punchline in an instant. The clips spread everywhere. Fans laughed. Analysts wrote him off overnight. The future star suddenly became the NFL's favorite meme, a bust. But here's where the story takes a turn. What if that same quarterback didn't just survive, but came back and dominated? What if he walked into the biggest stage in football with complete control? No panic, no fear, no ghosts, just command. Because this isn't a typical comeback story. This is something far more dangerous. Before the memes and the collapse, Sam Darnold was different. At USC, he wasn't just good, he was electric. He made big plays, delivered in clutch moments, and controlled games like a veteran. His performance in the 2017 Rose Bowl, 453 total yards and 5 touchdowns in a 52-49 thriller, instantly turned him into a star. They called him the Prince of Troy, and when the New York Jets selected him 3rd overall, they weren't just drafting a quarterback. They believed they were drafting a savior. He was supposed to fix everything: the franchise, the culture, the future. Every sign pointed upward. He had the talent, the confidence, and the spotlight. He wasn't supposed to fail. He was built to take over the league. So how does a can't-miss prospect become a punchline? Because the NFL doesn't just test talent, it exposes everything. And the Jets? That wasn't a system. It was a graveyard. Coaching changes created chaos. Schemes shifted constantly. Nothing stuck. Under Todd Bowles and later Adam Gase, things only got worse. The play designs were confusing, the support system was weak, and there was no stability. Then there was the offensive line, a revolving door. In just 3 seasons, Darnold was sacked 98 times. No protection, no weapons, no time. He wasn't developing, he was surviving. And then came the moment. I'm seeing ghosts. It wasn't just pressure, it was a quarterback completely overwhelmed. His confidence vanished, his momentum disappeared, his reputation shattered, and just like that, the league moved on. The Jets traded him, not as a rising star, but as a damaged asset. At just 23 years old, his career looked finished. Or at least, that's what everyone believed. Then came Carolina, a fresh start, a new system, and for a brief moment it looked like everything was turning around. 3-0, undefeated, confident, in control. People started asking, was he ever the problem? But then everything unraveled. Bad reads, forced throws, turnovers. The same old habits returned: hero ball, panic decisions, mistakes piling up. The illusion didn't last. He was benched, replaced, forgotten. This wasn't just a slump anymore, it was becoming his identity. The league made its decision. Sam Darnold was a bust. No debate, no discussion. At best, he was a career backup. And the truth is, most players never come back from that. But just when it seemed completely over, he made one move that changed everything. No headlines, no hype. Just a quiet move to San Francisco as a backup quarterback. To most people, it looked like a step down, a surrender. But in reality, it was a reset. Inside Kyle Shanahan's system, the game slowed down. Footwork, timing, reads, everything became clearer. For the first time in his career, Darnold wasn't reacting. He was learning. There was no pressure to carry a team, no expectations to be the hero, just reps, film study, and growth. He rebuilt everything: his mechanics, his confidence, his decision-making, but more importantly, he rebuilt his identity. He stopped trying to be Superman and became something better, a quarterback who could control the game, a point guard instead of a gambler. No spotlight, no noise, just steady improvement, day after day. And for the first time in his career, he wasn't trying to survive. He was finally building something real. Then came Minnesota, and with it, a twist no one expected. There was no hype, no anticipation. Sam Darnold wasn't even supposed to play. He entered the season as a backup, a temporary piece in someone else's plan. But one injury changed everything. Suddenly, he was back under center, back in control, back in the spotlight. And what followed shocked the entire league. Darnold didn't just hold his own, he thrived. He threw for 4,319 yards, delivered 35 touchdowns, and led his team to a 14-3 record. Let that sink in. The same quarterback who had been written off, mocked, and dismissed was now outperforming some of the league's biggest stars. Week after week, it became harder to ignore. His throws were confident, his decisions sharp, his presence composed. For the first time, the narrative began to shift. The bust label started to crack. But just as everything seemed to fall into place, it unraveled again. In the playoffs, under intense pressure, Darnold was sacked 9 times in a single game. Turnovers followed, mistakes piled up, the chaos returned, and with it, the ghosts. Just when belief was rebuilding, everything collapsed again. Minnesota moved on. No long-term commitment, no second chance. Darnold was once again left in a familiar place, doubted, questioned, and disposable. And that's when Seattle made a decision no one saw coming. The Seattle Seahawks shocked the league with a bold move. 3 years, $100 million for Sam Darnold. The reaction was immediate and brutal. Critics called it an overpay, a fluke investment. Same quarterback, different jersey, they said. Very few believed it would work, but inside the building, this wasn't desperation. It was deliberate. For the first time in Darnold's career, everything aligned. The system matched his strengths. The coaching staff believed in him. The offense was designed around what he did best rather than forcing him to adapt to something unfamiliar. And slowly, something changed. You could see it in his presence, in the way he carried himself, in the confidence behind every throw. This wasn't forced belief, it was earned. For the first time, a team didn't just give him an opportunity, they gave him control. And once that happened, everything began to unlock. Because what followed wasn't just improvement, it was domination, and no one was ready for it. This is where everything flipped. The 2025-26 season didn't begin with questions, it began with answers. No hesitation, no doubts, just results. Sam Darnold didn't just play well, he took over. He led the league in efficiency, ranked at the top in yards per attempt, and delivered explosive plays week after week. But what made it different wasn't chaos or improvisation. It was control. Every throw had purpose. Every drive carried rhythm. He wasn't reacting anymore. He was dictating the game. Defenses had no answer. Deep passes were perfectly placed. Tight windows were attacked without hesitation. In big moments, there was no panic, only execution. Game after game, he delivered. Then came the defining statement, a matchup against the San Francisco 49ers, the very system that had rebuilt him, and Darnold dismantled them. No emotion, no hesitation, just precision. That's when it became undeniable. This wasn't a comeback, it was a transformation. Teammates trusted him, coaches leaned on him, the league respected him. The same quarterback who once saw ghosts was now making defenses look invisible. No fear, no noise, just control. But even then, one final test remained, and it couldn't have been more perfect. The stage couldn't have been bigger. The Super Bowl, everything on the line. And across the field stood the New England Patriots, the very team tied to the moment that once broke him. 7 years later, it was the same spotlight, but a completely different player. There was no panic this time, no hesitation. From the opening snap, Darnold looked composed. His reads were clean, his decisions quick, his execution flawless. He didn't force throws or chase hero plays, he controlled the game. Drive after drive, he delivered, not with desperation, but with discipline. And when the final whistle blew, it was over. The narrative, the doubt, the label, gone. 7 years after the moment that defined his scoot, he returned to the same stage and rewrote the ending. No ghosts, just a champion. So now the question changes. Was Sam Darnold ever truly a bust? Or was he simply placed in the wrong situation? Because when the system failed him, he looked broken. But when everything aligned, he looked unstoppable. Same player, different environment. And that says everything. Sometimes the league doesn't destroy talent, it misplaces it. So what do you think? Was he always this good? Or did he grow into this version of himself? And if you want to see another shocking rise, check out our breakdown on Jackson Smith and Jigba. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.